crime wave in Gotham. Other breaking news. Water. Wet.
Coming up, more problems for a troubled
earthquake.
skater. Yep,
We're having an earthquake.
Breaking into homes and tickling people.
Fans quickly trashed his pantsless look on social media.
Also, in other news,
The whistles go woo!
He was murdered and then set on fire while celebrating his birthday.
He's on the lean and the model.
I said, oh, Lord Jesus, it's a fire.
he thought the car was a spaceship and that the driver was an alien.
He lost his life savings, $2,600, and all he has to show for it is this stuffed banana with dreadlocks.
It's time for another news right here on the Bernstein and Goff Show. 670 The Score is what you're listening to. 670thescore.com is what you're logged on to. And you can watch us on watch670thescore.com. Dan, can I start with this lunchroom story for you? All right. This is from the Miami Herald. And tell me if I'm just being sensitive on this. But you're probably right. You probably say, yeah, you're being sensitive. This is from Monique O. Madan. A high school in Florida put into effect a policy that administrators think will give students an incentive to do better in the classroom. The way it works, students are segregated during lunch by their grade point average. Hudson High School in Pasco County, north of Tampa Bay, launched the program at the beginning of their school year. Students who have at least a 2.0 GPA and a good attendance record get a wristband that gives them special privileges, like being allowed to eat outside the cafeteria. In order to score enough for a wristband, students need less than 4 absences, no less than a 2.0 GPA.
I always have been for the dumb kids being rounded up
and
thrown into special prisons and forced to work in the rice paddies.
And no Fs. Let me finish. What happens if
no Fs to give?
Oh, jeez. Oh, my. Such a dad. What happens if you don't qualify for a wristband? Quote, you're dubbed off track and forced to eat inside the lunchroom, where some are forced to stand because of overcrowding.
And you have to eat nothing but drywall.
School officials tell the TV station that this is just on a experimental basis.
Trial basis?
Trial basis. Dude, like, how weird is that?
Hey, sucks to be dumb.
That's the problem, though. You got different style learners. And, what happened to lifting up the rest of your class by, integrating people with great GPAs and the ones that don't have good GPAs. Maybe you get a guy in a group who's like, hey, I'm the smartest one in my group. Fellas, we got to lift this GPA up so we can all eat together.
I think this is probably unconstitutional in some way. Of course, it's horrendous.
Like, when I was in grade school, this is going to suck. I, for a semester, went to a school on the south side called Gillespie. And there was a classroom. It was taught by Mr. Lewis. We called his kids the Lulus because the Lulus were kids who
needed extra attention.
Yes, who got out of school a little bit earlier than everybody else did. If something happened, they would only hurt other Lulu-like kids. You know what I mean? It was really, really weird. And every school has those special needs classes. I was a child at the time. I was like 8, 9, 10 years old, whatever the case may be. But, like, you're doing this with your entire student body. It's not just a special class. You're telling kids you get a wristband for achievement, and you, by the way, you don't get that. I know people think this is preparing kids for life. I can dig that. I can understand that.
There's nothing wrong with incentivizing scholarship and incentivizing work, but to use your lunch period when a kids need to socialize and need to not be in class, and it's probably best for the learning environment to have them not being told that they're dumb when all they want to do is refuel.
Have a sandwich.
Yep.
Talk to a girl that you know is getting better grades than you and probably can help you out.
Yeah, or try to sit near the
smart kid.
No, the hot girls is where you
well, that's what I was trying to get at with the smart.
Right.
The hot girls in my school were all smart. We're all smart. I had a crush on a couple of girls. They were pretty girls, but they got great grades when I was a freshman.
That's not fair.
The one was named Leolyn Bowen, and the other was Shalonda Magnus. Shalonda is now going on to be married. I don't know what Leolyn's situation is. I'm not hitting on either one of them right now.
Sounds like you're asking.
I'm not hitting on either one of them right now. But yeah, and they both got great grades when we were kids. And Shalonda turned out to be a very good friend, like throughout the years. Like she was always cool with
I
me
always
after
look
the
forward
crush
to
wore
lunch
off.
because my mom always made my lunch up until
You show off your lunch, you
up
pull
until
it
the
out
last day of senior year of high school.
What?
You better damn believe it.
Wait a minute.
My lunch
Hold
was
on.
made.
Your mom was making a lunch for pretty much a grown-ass man.
Yep.
Are you serious?
And egg salad
bless.
with everything cut the same way.
Bless.
Everything
Wow.
ideal.
After freshman year, it was like, here goes $6, make it work.
That's what I said to my daughter. I said, "You are on your own." That was egg salad, the tuna salad, just right. And all we tried to do was make Noel Sachs laugh so Sprite would shoot out of his nose. That was our entertainment. This is from Australia. A famous snake wrangler, fill in the blank, is fighting for his life after his pet inland taipan, widely regarded as the world's most venomous snake, bit him. Now, I thought the golden lancehead was the most venomous snake. That's the one on Snake Island. That's the one with the flesh-eating venom. Okay. But apparently this is the most venomous, but you can handle it because it rarely bites. Where the golden lancehead just looks for you. You look at it funny, and it's going to bite your face off.
What we have here is a magnificent specimen of pure Alabama black snake.
Buku. Nathan Chetcuti, a 19-year-old handler from Brisbane, was attempting to put his new pet back in its enclosure when it struck him. The teenager was with his dad at the time, who immediately called emergency services. Nathan's family are at his bedside at Redcliffe Hospital in Queensland, where he's in intensive care. He is listed in serious condition. He has bred dozens of non-venomous snakes and reptiles and uploads informative videos to his YouTube channel. Australian pythons and other reptiles. Inland taipans are an entirely different story. The taipan, otherwise known as the fierce snake, comes from Central East Australia and is regarded as the most venomous in the world. Left untreated, a bite has the potential to kill someone in 45 minutes. The snake is usually quite shy and reclusive and known for its placid disposition, which is why it is not regarded as the deadliest in the world, only the most venomous. Okay, see, either way, I'm good on handling it.
See, that's the thing,
If they tell me this is the most venomous snake in the world, I'm not touching it.
This isn't a person that's just messing around with animals, though. This is actually a handler,
a self-described YouTube channel handler.
Like, does he do parties or something? Like what's the incentive? Right, shout out to Scott Green.
Making balloon animals.
I'm saying,
kids.
If you're a handler,
yeah.
Like when you think of like a falcon handler or a dog handler or, those kind of people. They're paid to do a job.
I've been to those birthday parties where they have a reptile guy.
Yeah?
It was my next door neighbor.
Like iguana or
my next door neighbor
like
for his 6th birthday. No, it was like this
Komodo?
26-foot albino python.
Really?
It was huge. I mean,
I don't rock with those at all.
it was cool.
Like, no, those big dumbass snakes that'll choke the life out of you.
Yeah.
I'm good on that.
Those are better than the poisonous ones.
I can dig it. I can understand.
They're venomous ones.
Yeah, but I don't.
Okay.
Dude, hopefully you can, somebody can suck the antidote out or we can get to the hospital fast enough.
I was at another birthday party where
I'm not about to fight with something that's 30 feet long and is squeezing the life out of me slowly but surely.
Don't call me Shirley. I was at another birthday party where it was a zoo guy who had a sloth.
The gorilla.
Yeah, see, here's the silverback lowland gorilla.
Hey, sloths are no joke.
This sloth was one of the foulest smelling things. The moment they opened
the Bulls media guy.
The moment they opened the box, like, oh,
yeah,
God.
It went all over itself in the box.
It's just hideous.
You don't even want to see the tricks?
It was like the worst skunk that ever skunked times 10.
I thought you were talking about like how vicious it was.
Gross.
The sloths had the ridiculously
long claws,
right?
They were asleep. I mean, it was a
Bulls
low
media
red
guy.
Bulls media and a Coogee sweater.
Stop it. All right, 3 former professional wrestlers, including Hall of Famers Mr. Fuji and Jimmy Superfly Snuka, you mentioned him earlier.
Yeah, he's in jail, though, right?
Have been diagnosed with chronic traumatic encephalopathy or a variation of the disease, according to a court document filed on behalf of more than 60 retired performers who are suing the WWE over injuries they allegedly suffered on the job. The filing in U.S. District Court in Connecticut states the CTE, a degenerative neurological disease associated with repeated head blows, also was discovered in Timothy Smith, whose best-known ring names were Rex King and Timothy Well. I don't know this guy at all. WWE issued a statement that said a lawyer for the retired wrestlers, Konstantin Kairos, quote, has been repeatedly admonished by the court for presenting a false and misleading information, and no medical report was included in this filing. Kairos responded in part, quote, this case is not about the messenger, it is about the injured wrestlers. The most recent findings bring to at least
sketchy.
The number of deceased professional wrestlers who reportedly have been diagnosed with CTE. The others are Chris Benoit in 2007, Andrew Test Martin in 2009, and John Reckner, who performed as Balls Mahoney in 2000.
Of course he did.
In 2000, I'm sorry, we'll have this disease. In 2016.
Yeah, you have brain damage and all, but your name Balls Mahoney is fun to say.
In addition,
so you don't get any money.
Stop. Brian Knighton, whose ring name was Axel Rotten, was found.
It was Ass McGee.
Body part, Irish name, just throw it together. Kneecap O'Neill. Stop.
Taint O'Malley, right? Oh, Danny!
I knew it was coming.
Come on!
I knew it was coming. That's why I said kneecap. I went kneecap. That's why I knew it was coming. Was found to have had early stages.
Really?
Screw the story. This
Brendan's doing up. Brendan's like Ed Hockley over
because
there.
Brendan by rule.
Right, he's going to be illegal shift, loss of down.
He's Dean Brandino.
Pussing the foul.
Oh, no, don't be Jerome Bogart. It actually is what the body part we're talking about there, to be honest with you. All right, I'm done with the story.
I'm done with this guy.
I'm done with the story.
Okay, this is from the comeback. Forgetting to heed the warnings of New Coke and Crystal Pepsi, Nutella maker Ferrero decided to alter the recipe for their iconic chocolate and hazelnut spread, and chaos has ensued. Like so many beloved foodstuffs, fans of Nutella enjoy it because they love the taste, and assuming they've slathered a lot of it on their toast, they have a very specific understanding of that taste and what it should be. However, for reasons that remain unclear, Ferrero allegedly increased the percentage of powdered skim milk in the product to 8.7% from 7.5%, as well as an increase in the sugar amount from 55.9 to 56.3%. While it doesn't sound terribly significant, the change has been clear. The spread's color is noticeably lighter. The taste appears to have changed, according to tried and true Nutella heads. The biggest question looming over the controversy is what got left out to make room for the skim milk and sugar. Speculation seemed to point out a lack of cocoa. So under mounting scrutiny, Nutella finally admitted a change had been made via Twitter today. Though, to be fair, it looks like they're not sharing any specific details as of yet.
A lack of cocoa? Is there a shortage?
Well, that's how Nutella got started, interestingly enough. That Nutella, during World War II, I believe, that was the Italian creator, the confectioner, when chocolate was being rationed, decided to mix it with hazelnuts in an effort to stretch the chocolate.
Okay. All right.
So it was born of need and scarcity in that regard. So I don't know if maybe cocoa prices, my favorite stripper, changed everything.
What a goof.
Put your heads together for cocoa prices.
That's it. It's in other news. That's it. Thank you. Don't laugh at that.
No, at the same time I said, oh, I love her.
Oh, did you?
Jesus. You two, both of you guys.